Rough Trade are one of the biggest vinyl distributors across the UK, and they do have various stores across the world. I myself have actually purchased from them a number of times. I think their packaging is really good, the actual delivery isn't too bad, and I'd say they're reasonable price for actual vinyl records. However, when you look at the records that they are selling and you see the prices they're selling them at, you might think they're fair. However, when they look at your collection and the records you're actually trying to sell them, they might see it a different way. Last week they found themselves in a little bit of trouble where they released a brand new app called FlipVinyl. The premise of the app is basically it was a quick way to sell your vinyl records fairly easy and get some quick cash for actually selling your record. In theory this is a good idea, right? You're supposed to have this website where you can easily, if you have some vinyl records that are taking up a bit too much space, you don't like the music anymore, you can easily just upload them to this app and it will take care of the problem and get your money ASAP to you. However, from various collectors actually trying out this app, they've realised they're being a little bit undersold. Now, I am going to thank the article and link it down below in the description if you want to go and read a bit more of this, because this is where I am finding about all the information here. And a lot of the records I'm about to use as an example are from this article from Music Radar, from various Twitter users, but one of the records that was basically pointed out was actually a David Bowie vinyl, which is the 5 Years vinyl box set. I won't lie, obviously I know who David Bowie is. I'm not really huge into his discography, but apparently that's worth £1,000. How much do you think Rough Trade's FlipVinyl thought that this was worth? £9 is the correct answer. So obviously a lot of people are probably going to get scammed from this. Another person was claiming that they put 10 of their most valuable records, which in total were worth about £4,000, at least estimated, they say median in the Discogs, I'm assuming. Apparently this app was actually quoting them £100 for all of them. Rough Trade clearly has some explaining to do here, because none of that math is really mathing, is it? And in fact there was such backlash that after about 2 or 3 days of the service actually being live, they decided to suspend it and release this statement basically apologising for everything that has come out about it. And they state that on the 2nd of August we've launched FlipVinyl for the UK market. It's clear based on feedback from a number of customers that we made the wrong assumptions, then that people viewed this service as inappropriate and saw us as profiteering. This was not our intention, however we understand and appreciate criticisms and take full responsibility. As a result, we are going to suspend the service and give us time to reassess. Now, the reason I want to make this video is because I haven't really seen anyone really cover it on YouTube. There might be a couple of channels I've missed out there, but as far as I can tell, it's not really been spoken about wide enough in my opinion. And I kind of wanted to bring a little bit of attention, as little as I could, to the conversation. So I'm going to share my thoughts and opinions on everything that's happened, and more importantly focus about what's actually potentially gonna happen next. And first and foremost, I just need to say, like, you should get at least somewhat close to the value of your record when you sell it. There shouldn't be a world where you have a valuable record, let's say in my instance, the 25th anniversary of the Slim Shady LP Zoetrope, this is worth about £500 now. There is no world where I should be able to like find an app and I put this for sale and then I get about 10 quid for it. However, at the end of the day, the app is like that sort of second-hand market, and its whole purpose is promoted as it's a quick way to sell your vinyl records. So whilst I think you should at least be met with a fair price, you should also expect there to be a little bit of a lower price on what you're expecting to get. At the end of the day, Rough Trade is a business who are gonna try, like, it's like CEX essentially. Like, you come in with your old video games, you give it to them, they'll give you a price for it, and they're probably going to sell it off for like an extra 20% more than what you got for it, if that makes sense. That's exactly what Rough Trade were trying to implement, and I think it's really purposeful if you are just trying to get rid of some vinyl records and make some extra space. It's really purposeful for that. It's really useful for that, and I feel like if that's why you're going onto this app, to use it for that sort of side of things, because you want to just get rid of your records as quick as possible, you should expect that you're not going to meet like the highest price of what your record or records might be worth. But at the same time, if you have, like, as the example is shown there, 10 records in total should be worth somewhere around the 4K mark. In my opinion, you should at least be seeing like 2 or 3K for it if you're trying to get rid of it quickly. If you're wanting the max price, go out there and actually properly try and sell it yourself on eBay or talking to people and get the price you think that you deserve for it. On the other hand, what I will say that I don't like about it is, if you are a vinyl collector, and I wouldn't even say I'm like a vinyl collector veteran or anything like that, I'd sort of say I'm on like the medium size of things. I have like above average knowledge on vinyl collecting. Like, I'm smart enough to know how much some of my vinyl records are worth at the very least. If you're at that level and above, you're gonna see this app and you will actually be like, you know what, not worth it. That's not how much my collection or my record should be selling for. However, there are going to be people out there who are just kind of collecting on a casual level. They just maybe have decided they don't want part of their collection anymore and they just want to get rid of it. And they may have a record in there that's worth, let's just even say like £100 or something, or even a record that's like £50 or £60. And this app might just like take advantage of them not knowing that and just take the chance and be like, oh, we'll offer you £30 for it, or however many. And that's where I see this profiteering issue coming in a lot more, where those people who are just trying to like get a quick bit of money off for it, they are going to lose out on a lot more of what they could be getting out of it. And I think there's more likely going to be people using this type of app for that reason, or at that level, rather than someone who's like an actual avid collector. And for me, I'm kind of glad for that reason they've shut this system down. And as they said in their statement, they do need to reassess how they're going to go with this moving forward. And this is what worries me, right? Because first things first, actual positive, fair play to them for actually listening to the community and the outrage of it and doing something about it at the very least and taking it down so people aren't going to lose out on their money for their collection. The other side of this though is they've only suspended it, so they're clearly going to bring this back to another capacity. And really, what can you do to fix it? And for me, the only correct way to do this is to have a proper system in place that actually correctly values records. Maybe there's an element of trying to use AI for that. I think there could be potential for a lot of accidents to happen with that system, but that's a whole thing that I kind of don't know how to approach, or I don't have the knowledge to really like speak on that side of things. And something that is bugging me about this whole thing is it does kind of feel like it's really good in the sense of like what its purpose is coming off as, which is a good way to get rid of your collection or get rid of vinyls that are taking up space, etc. But I think my issue with it is it's almost might be a way that rough trade could try and monopolize their place in the record store industry. Because if this app does take off, it may actually take away from certain independent record stores and mean that they don't get as many customers coming in to get their records traded. And it may lead to them having to compete with this app, if it were to be successful, to actually stay afloat and get new records in, or at least old records that they can sell. So I think there's an area of concern there from the independent market. However, with that being said, I do think there is a place for an app like this that is more simplified way to just sell records that you don't want anymore. And I think that's something that needs to kind of be like a bit of a, maybe a warning. I'm not sure if that's like the right verbiage to put there, but basically something that comes up before like using the app saying you may not get this like exact price of your record. This is a quick way to sell them. Now that's not me saying that, for example, the thing of the David Bowie one, you shouldn't be like being offered £9 for a however much record it was worth. I can't remember that off the top of my head. Like with that David Bowie record, you shouldn't be offered like £9 for a record that's worth £1,000. That should not be happening, but I think in the fair sort of price range, it should be like if it's worth £1,000, you're going to be offered 600, 700. But if you want to meet that £1,000 price point, go and sell it yourself, because at the end of the day, these record stores and rough trade, in fairness, they do need to make a profit off the records that they're going to be exchanging with their customers, and I think that is the fairest way of doing it. And I think the way they need to do this is update whatever system they're using, and this is something I do find with vinyl collecting, like especially an app like Discogs. Like, as great as it is for like doing your collection, the user face is completely out of date, and it feels like I'm using a website from like 2009 sometimes. And I know vinyl collecting is a bit of a vintage thing to do, but there should really be some updated systems and whatnot. And I feel like this system that Rough Trade have used, whatever it is clearly getting a lot wrong. And I think us as a vinyl community, if this app comes back, we should at least be open to it. And if it does work correctly, or at least gives you more fairer prices for the vinyl records that you're wanting to trade in, then it should really be noted. If you're trying to quickly like get rid of stuff and you just want some quick cash for it, that's the way to go about it. If you're really wanting to meet the prices of like what you think your record is worth, you need to go about it the correct way and go to, say, eBay or Discogs, or networking with people and trying to figure out a fair price there. As greedy as I think it can come across, I do think it's unfair to expect to go to an app that's made to quickly make money and quickly get rid of your collection slash various records. It's a bit unfair to expect them to give you the exact price for it when you're not willing to go through the entire effort to sell it yourself, which is the idea of this app, to sell it quick and fast rather than instantly giving you the most value out of it. But what do you guys think? Am I completely off with my thoughts on this? This is my first time kind of doing a video like this. I guess the first time I've done a video on like vinyl drama in the community or whatever. I saw this story and it has been a couple of days, to be fair. Like, technically, if this was like the usual slop channel content that people put out, this would already be quite out of date. At the time of recording, it's like 4 days out of date, so sorry. But I thought it was an interesting one, at least, to sort of like raise to your guys' attention and also sort of speak about and get some of your guys' thoughts on it. I do want to clarify as well, I do actually like Rough Trade. I think they are actually a really good vinyl store. My nearest one, I think, is in Bristol. It was in fact where I got my Kendrick Lamar Section 80, so they actually have like good unique editions or records that you can buy. So I don't want to like say that Rough Trade are completely in the shit for what they've done, and just based off of how they wrote their response or their statement, it does feel quite sincere to me. But again, it is a business trying to make money, so you can't always trust what's being written down. I think we need to see what happens when they bring this app back, what they do to actually improve it, and maybe if I can see the app when it's back up, if they don't retake it down, then maybe I'll have a look at my own collection and compare the prices to what they're being shown on the site again, just to see if I think it's fair. And if there is any like other scenarios like this that happens like within the vinyl record community, do let me know about it, because I will be at least happy to like have a look into it. And you can do that by heading over to my Instagram at @TheVeggieVinylGuy, and you can just send me a message on there and let me know what's going on, or leave a comment on this video, or go to my community tab and comment on something there. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.